hope it's a good night for everybody. What is it? 16th? Has to be. Yep, Friday. 16th. Yes, it is. 9:19 p.m. It's 9:19 p.m. That was weird. Forgot to mute it. Anyway, hope y'all had a nice day. I did stuff around my house today and went through some boxes and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, we're just chilling out here at the Drop-In Ranch. Me and the dogs and cats. And ready to play some Bible trivia. So that's on the schedule. As every Friday night we do Bible trivia. Open chat. And usually if nobody comes in right away, I will start playing by myself. And if anybody wants to play along without putting in the comments, that's fine. And most of the people watch this on the replay. So anyway, I'm not going to take too much time before I start. So because that's what some people come to test your Bible knowledge. That's right. Test your Bible knowledge every Friday night right here. Huh, guys? You ready for trivia? They said yes. So, anyway, we got... I didn't really look at the categories. I probably should have. Old Testament 1. Genesis through Ruth. Geography and general. Oh, that's weird. Gospel facts, miscellaneous from Matthew to John, patriarchs from Abraham to Joseph, fill in the blanks, statistics, and numbers. I don't really like those categories, I don't think. I may shuffle the deck. Sometimes it gets worse, though. Sometimes it... New game of Bible trivia. Okay, let's do that. Because this is the hand that came up when I pulled it up. We're going to shuffle it and make sure it's like shuffling the deck before you play poker, right? You gotta do that. All right, books of the Bible. Elijah versus Elisha. You know, that's kind of hard. Gospel facts. Because I get them mixed up to begin with. Gospel facts, miscellaneous from Matthew to John. Might be right. Complete the verse, New Testament. Name the book. And timeline. Anyway, those are categories. I guess we'll stick with them. Is it? I don't know if I've seen this category before. Gospel facts. I don't know if I've seen that one before. Complete the verse. I don't even know if I've seen that one before. Name the book. I don't know. That seems to... I don't know. We've played this a long time, so I can't believe I haven't seen all the categories yet, but maybe. But I know I always get Elijah versus Elisha. Or some people say Elisha. I get those two mixed up. Otherwise, books of the Bible. So anyway, let's see. What are we going to do? Books of the Bible? Nah. Elijah versus Elisha? No. Gospel facts? Maybe. Complete the verse? Maybe. Name the book and timeline. Name the book? That's kind of weird. Name the book seems very close to Book to the Bible. In Book to the Bible, wouldn't you be, you know what I mean? No, it seems kind of the same. But I'm not going to shuffle again. I will... Gospel facts for 200, Alex. I hope everybody had a good day. Let's see, Friday. Yeah, we didn't do too much. We're going to go in town tomorrow, me and the doggies. I already told them. I told them with the ESP, I can do that now. Have all of them sit down and mentally go through my mind with them what we're going to do tomorrow, and they're really excited. They already know what we're going to do. We're going to go to Dollar General and get their big bag of food. They just ate dinner, but they already going to town tomorrow. They love going to town, all three of them in the truck. And I live in a small town. I'm pretty much known as the lady with the dogs. A lady in the pickup truck with the dogs. Well, I go in spurts. Sometimes I drive my Sequoia for like 6 months or a year. Then I'll drive the other one for 6 months or a year. So, but lately they've seen my pickup truck with dogs hanging out of every window. Oh man. Anyway, I love living in a small town. I really like it. I really like it. I kind of wish I would have done a long time ago, but I wouldn't have had all the opportunities that I had if I had not lived in the city. So anyway, it's God's perfect timing. I'm up here. I guess I'm supposed to be. I thought it was good timing anyway. Well, hello, whoever came in and the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Everybody get ready to start it on the Bible trivia for tonight. Yeah, pretty good day, and we're getting back up into the upper 30s, and then we'll be in the 40s very soon again in the next day or two. Excuse me. Oh, I sound like a dog barking. So anyway, it's just getting warmer, and we might be dodging winter. Now, I don't want to jinx it or speak too soon, but you know what I mean. All right, so far so good anyway. Oh my gosh, you guys, and we got, let's see, it's 4 more Bible trivias, I think. 4 more Bible trivias, and then we'll be into spring. No, 4 more Bible trivias will be into daylight savings, and 5 more Bible trivias will be into spring. That's cool, because these Bible trivias seem to come fast every week. You know? And you know what I like about Bible trivias? I don't have to get anything ready. I don't have to sit here and come up with something and then get all the stuff ready and pull everything up and blah, blah, blah. That's all I do is pull up Bible trivia, bam, done. No prep. Just pull this up and that's it. And then fire this phone up, you know what I mean? I got an old phone. I still have to pull it with the cord, you know what I mean? Rip cord like a lawnmower. All right. So we're going to start in this category. You know what? Today I should show you guys something. So I've been going through these boxes and boxes of stuff for before I moved. And it had jewelry and it had a bunch of stuff in it. And stuff I've never seen before, because there's a lot of stuff I get out of people's houses. I just pack it away and I don't see it for sometimes years. Anyway, so a box I've never opened before. I found this charm of somebody's. I don't know whose it is. It's so weird, you guys. It's got this. It's like a thing a mom has with all the heads on it, and it's got nail heads. It's from the 1940s. I'll read the names on it. Hold on a second. So I don't know what house I got this out of, because I've cleaned out literally hundreds of houses, so I have no idea where I got this from. And I don't know the people when I empty out their houses. I don't know them, so I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little heads on it. Now, I don't know if they really have 9 children, but I'll show you something. I started thinking, whoa, now there's no way that a mom could have had all these children in this short of time, because I'll show you that some of them are only like 3 months apart. Some of them are only, I'll open this thing up. Some of them are, just 3-4 months apart. Anyway, so I'll read them off. The first one is, I should get my loop here so I can read it. Yeah, so the first one, This cannot be all her kids. But anyway, the first one's name is Lori Ann. Lori Ann. Lori Ann. Right. And on the back, let me see it. Or something like that. Anyway, on the back has a date, January 14th, 1958. The next one says Barbara Gale. And the birthday is 12/1/1957. The next one's name is Carol. And her birthday is 11/3/1953. Next one's name is Paul. And birthday is 7/8/1953. Next one's name is Chucky. And Chucky's birthday is January 8th, 1953. So see, these cannot be one person's kids, you know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, I don't even know what it is. Maybe it's some ladies. I don't know. Judy. Next one is Judy. And Judy's birth is 3/22/51. And the next one's is Jill. And Jill's birth date is 6/19/1948. And the next one is Mike. And Mike's birth date is 9/22/1946. And the next one's name is Skip. Skip. And Skip's birth date is 9/21/1942. And the last kid is Bob. And Bob's birthday was 9/10/1942. Isn't that something crazy, huh? Weird, huh? Yeah. I think you can see it probably. Anyway, weird, huh? So it's not like they're just too, like, nobody could have that many kids in 1 year. Or all in the same years, you know what I mean? Oh, weird. I don't know what it is. You find the weirdest stuff, man, on people in people's houses when you empty it out. Normally that would be children, but the birthdays don't make sense. All right. Let me move a little bit here. Since I don't have a dog underneath me. And actually get up close. All right, so let's go over here to Bible Trivia. The first category, it should be an easy one. The first question, anyway, in the first category, and it is question number 1. Name the member of the Sanhedrin who was a secret disciple of Jesus and who asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. This is so weird because we just went over this guy in an entire hour-long live stream probably a week ago. Anybody remember? This is super easy because we just talked about this guy. Not that it wouldn't be easy. Even if we didn't talk about him a week ago, it still would have been easy. But we did just do a whole hour talking about him and the where is he now. Anyway. So anyway, it was Joseph of Arimathea. So the choices are Joseph of Arimathea, Saul of Tarsus, Barnabas, or Zacchaeus. And it is definitely Joseph of Arimathea. And he was the rich man who was actually Mary's uncle, rich uncle, who Jesus traveled with, and he was a dealer in tin, and he would go to England, I think. Can't remember. Anyway, yeah. We learned all about Joseph of Arimathea last week. But anyway, we already knew about him. We knew some about him. We just learned more. Anyway, so that was the easy one. 200 points, Joseph of Arimathea. Him and Mary Magdalene, after Jesus died, him, Mary Magdalene, Lazarus, Mary, other Mary, um, I can't remember who else, were put in a boat by the Romans or whoever it was. I can't remember. Somebody who was against them. They couldn't kill him, but they could put him in a boat and push him out to sea with no oars and no sail, and hoping they would die. But they didn't die. They ended up in England. And anyway, Joseph of Arimathea already knew people that he was a trader there, and he was trading in the tin. And that's why he was so rich, and that he's the one that had the tomb. Remember the rich man's tomb? That was his in the garden tomb or whatever. The one Jesus was laid in, that was Joseph of Arimathea. That was his tomb, and he's also the one that him and Barnabas went and snuck, went and got the body of Jesus supposedly from Pilate, and to anoint him with. And anointed him with like 100 pounds of, anyway, quite the story. So anyway, they had a little bit about what happened after that. All right. Anyway, so that was the easy one. Gospel facts, miscellaneous from Matthew to John. For $400, Alex. All right, gospel facts, miscellaneous from Matthew to John. Oh yeah, it's just Dave used to say it's chewing on it when it's spinning in circles like that. He'd say it's chewing on it. God rest his soul. Although I don't think he's resting, I think he is very busy doing his stuff in heaven and watching over me and his other family and everybody else. So I think much different of people who passed away now than I did a few years ago, even 2 years ago. Anyway, but I've known for years that people don't burn in hell. It's hogwash. All right, Alex, question for 400 points. Oh, I hate these questions because they switch them up, and depending on the chapter, depending on the time, it's this many loaves with that many fish, and this many fish with that many loaves. Depends on the story. So, with how many fish and loaves did Jesus feed the 5,000? Because there's a certain amount for the 5,000, and there's a certain amount for the 4,000. Remember, the next time was 4,000, whatever. This story's repeated, but it was 5, and then another story was like 4,000, and so they switched this up. So anyway, I don't like these kind of questions. Oops, did I just click the wrong answer? And how many fish? 2 loaves. No, it was 7 loaves and 2 fish. Loaves and 7 fish. I don't know. I don't like these kind of questions at all. 5 loaves, 2 fish. Yeah. And then the other, that's in Mark, and there's another feeds 4,000. And it's so obvious that it's the same story, but they're trying to pretend it's another story. So they switch them out, and they switch the loaves and switch the fish. And then they all act surprised, like, well, however are we going to feed all these people when they just did it? Like the first time was 5,000. I think the next time was less than like it was like 4,000. And then they're just bewildered. I don't know, Jesus, how are we going to feed them all? Well, we just did this. We just did it with the 5,000, and now we got 4,000. You have no idea how we're going to do it. Anyway, you can tell it's anyway. Gospel facts, miscellaneous from Matthew to John. For $600, Alex. All right, for 600 points or dollars. Jesus was the indirect instrument by which Pilate and Herod became enemies, friends, acquainted, or indignant. Well, Alex, it was when they became friends. It is funny. Oh, I could go a lot into this. I could go deep into this. But anyway, It is where Jesus is the one who brought together Pilate and Herod, and they became friends happily ever after as friends. Am I right? Ding, ding, ding. I am right. And you know what's funny about that is the people who wrote Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the four Gospels, they are definitely Greek Roman, highly educated Greek Roman, whatever. Can't hide it. It is what it is. Can't deny it. And as they're writing these Gospels, they are, think about this, they're still under Roman authority, and these people will kill you. In fact, they'll do it horribly, like rip you into quarters or whatever. Do what they did. They have the. So you don't want to do nothing wrong in front of the Romans, okay, and the Roman government. So if you notice that in the four Gospels, they're very careful to never offend the government, right? They make Pontius Pilate out to be the good guy who's kind of like, oh, whatever will I do? I'm kind of in the middle. No, oh heck no. Pontius Pilate actually was a real person, and he, if he was or whatever, but he, it's recorded that they're all brutal, and they would never give in to the crowd. But you could tell this always, they always. They're very, like I said, very careful not to offend the Roman government when they're writing these Gospels. Like when Jesus, they say, should we pay taxes? And Jesus said, give me the coin, and, pay Caesar what is Caesar's. You notice they never really, say anything bad about the government. You know what I mean? In fact, if anything, it's in favor of the government. Like, pay your taxes, behave, and all that other stuff. But yeah, if you just notice that when you read it in the Gospels next time, notice how they're always very careful they never said like, oh, Pilate, he was a jerk, or just anything bad about anybody. It's actually kind of funny. They flip them around to be the good guys. I mean, why? Because that's one. First of all, they're in fear of the Roman government, and they are Roman citizens. So anyway, all right, where are we at? 600. That, yeah. All right, Gospel facts, miscellaneous from Matthew to John 4. 800. I hope I clicked the right one. See, when I click it, it jumps like that. Alright, I think. Alright. Now, this is interesting. It says, at 1 hour did Jesus cry out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Well, it was 3 p.m., which would be the 9th hour. But in different Gospels, they have it different. Some, it was, they were trying them at 9 in the morning. Some it was at noon. Some he, died at this time, and some that time. But John turns them into the Passover lamb. So John makes it 3 o'clock. But anyway, 3 p.m. is the 9th hour, which, like I said, ding ding, correct. Like I said, and it's because at 3 p.m. on Friday and Passover Friday is when you slaughter the Passover lamb. And so since they are twisting this story, especially John, John turns him totally into Jesus into the sacrificial lamb who is slaughtered at 3 p.m. on a Friday of Passover, because then they have to burn it in the fire by evening and all that. So it's kind of like a deal. But anyway, yeah, so it was ding ding the 9th hour, which is 3 p.m. But yeah, the 4 Gospels have like different timelines of what happened that day, but they're pretty much all wrapped up at 3 p.m. which is the ninth hour. Because 6 a.m. is the first hour of the day. And then 9 a.m. is the third hour. Sixth hour is noon. And the ninth hour is 3. All right. So doing pretty good. Gospel facts miscellaneous from Matthew to John for $1,000, Alex. That's a big one. All right. This is funny. Who rolled the stone closing Jesus's tomb? Now this is funny. This is funny. Because who rolled the stone closing Jesus's tomb? Now it's funny because they can't even they couldn't even ask a question of who rolled the stone to open the tomb, because all 4 gospels have a different story. Well, actually, Mark doesn't even have a story, but the 3 gospels, other Matthew, Luke, and John, have all a different story of who moved the stone. But there is one story of who actually put the stone in place in the first place. And who is it? It is actually, well, it's interesting. Who rolled the stone in front? I'm pretty sure it was Joseph. But then there's a difference in the Gospels of, was there Roman guards? Wasn't there Roman guards? So that makes it kind of hard, because there's different accounts. The accounts are different. But I do know, I'm going to guess Joseph of Arimathea, and I'm right. Ding, ding, ding. Because, well, actually, because we did just go over this not too long ago. And I'm not even sure about the closing of the tomb. But I do know that there is, because people assume that there was, but you'd have to think about this. If Joseph and whoever, Barnabas or whoever, the one, his buddy, I forgot his name. But anyway, if they were going to go to Pilate and get the body and lay it in the tomb, well, who do you think's closing the door? If Joseph of Arimathea, who's actually Mary's, mother, I mean, not Mary, yeah, Mary, Mother Mary's uncle. So who knew Jesus well with Jesus. So it's Jesus' great uncle. But anyway, the rich uncle Joseph, that's his tomb, right? So he's the only one. Of course, he's going to be the one rolling it. But then you say, wait a minute. Why would they have to bribe? Why was the story that they bribed the guards to take the body? Why was there a cover story when the body was missing in one of the Gospels? You know what I mean? Because wait a minute. Okay, so wait. Think of this. You can't even add the 4 Gospels together. Okay, so Joseph and Barnabas, or whoever it was, go privately to Pilate and say, can we have the body? And he says, sure, even though that would never happen, ever. But even though, let's just say, pretend it did. And they went and they got the body under cover of night, like they said, with 100 pounds of spices, and they put him in the tomb, right? Of course, they're the ones who closed the door, okay? But I do remember that there's no doubt of who closed the door. It was Joseph of Arimathea. It was his tomb. He closed it. But then, wait a minute. How come when they come back, there's a question of where's the guards? And like, wait a minute, wait. Yeah, because there's a story like, well, they thought, well, we better put guards in front of there, or they're going to say that, he rose from the dead or whatever. And the guard story is all between the 4 Gospels. It's a mess. So anyway, yes, ding, 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 Joseph, and it was, by the way, Joseph Arimathea, Mary, Mother Mary's great uncle, the tin dealer that Jesus knew well. All right, next category. We did good in that category. What else did we got? Let's see. Timeline. Name that book, or name the book. Complete the verse. Elijah, books of the Bible. I don't know. Huh. Timeline. I don't know. Timeline. Name the book. Complete the verse. I don't know. We're going to do complete the verse for 200, Alex. It might be hard. All right, first question for 200 points. Our God is a consuming what? According to Hebrews, anonymously written Hebrews, verse 12, verses 29. Well, according to this anonymous person, God is a consuming bing fire. Ding, 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 ding. Well, that's kind of weird, huh? Your God is a consuming fire. Oh, if you have a sun god, he'd be consuming fire too, wouldn't he? All right, fire. Or wait, let's go through the choices. God is a consuming lion. Is he a roaming lion? Is he father? Lots of fathers are consumers. Daddies like to eat. A consuming father or a consuming sword? I don't know. I'd say, Alex, I'm going to go with fire. For our God is a consuming fire. Written by the anonymous author that nobody knows who it was. But everybody's going to just believe it. Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, Alex. Alex just looked at me weird. All right. He just said, don't try to do my job. Okay, no, sorry, Alex. All right, so yes, it was God is a consuming fire. That was pretty easy. All right, we'll kick it up a notch. Let's see. Complete the verse for 400, Alex. Might be hard. I don't know. This thing is slow. Slow as molasses. I just heard a song. Something that says in molasses isn't that slow. I heard weird songs when I was going down to the city. I don't even know what station I picked up. Might have been from a different planet. You should have heard the songs. Like somebody in their backyard making up songs. It was a song called I'm in love with a wait. It's called something like Can you love a guy who's in love or something? I'm in love like a chicken with his head cut off. I'm in love with the chicken with his head cut off. Can you love? I'd have to look it up. The weirdest songs. I'm like, what planet did I pick up? All right, for $400, Alex. Better not be too hard. A man that is a heretic after the first and second this admonition. Okay. So if a man is a heretic after you yell at him twice, do you reject him, burn him, just a little, stone him, or torture him? All right, now you told him twice, all right? According to Titus, if you have scolded somebody, a heretic, twice, and they still are being a heretic, what should you do? Reject them, burn them, stone them, or torture them? Well, you really wouldn't be surprised if any one of them, but I'm hoping Titus is gonna say reject them. Because, yep, ding, 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 that is correct. Because, actually, you know what? 2 Timothy says, I think it's 2 Timothy, says the same thing. And that's when two or more are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst. Well, it's two or three. Because the The whole Bible tells you that 2 or 3 people have to settle a legal issue. There has to be 2 or 3 witnesses on any legal issue. Anyway. No, not a Mandela fact. All right, complete the verse. New Testament. For 600, Alex. Didn't I just do 600? I feel like I got ripped off somewhere. All right. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry. Well, hey, Deborah. How you doing tonight? Well, good to see you. I hope you had a nice day. How was your Friday? I hope you're doing well. And for 600 points, behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are blank already to harvest. They are green, white, gold, or brown. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are gold already to harvest. I think it's gold. I don't think it's brown. Green? Well, if it's ready to harvest, I think it's gold. Because I think they're talking about wheat. I think they're talking about wheat. Oh, it was white. I wonder what John. Let me go back and look again. White. I wonder what they're talking about. If they're talking about wheat, I imagine. I guess they are white at the top. Green gold. Fine, you've been busy all day? That's good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I've just been doing stuff at home. It was kind of cold today. Man, I went out to get the mail and I thought, dang, it is kind of chilly. It was 8 degrees this morning. But anyway, we're going to be up in the 30s and 40s now. Again, back. So not bad. We dipped it down a little bit, but pretty much not much snow to talk about. But yeah, I kind of hibernated today. Did stuff. Played inside. So yeah, so for there, white already to harvest. There you go. John says that it snowed a lot yesterday. 30th today, really? 3 inches? I did hear that your state got that much. Yes, I did hear that. There's a guy on YouTube called Michigander, and he lives off grid in the woods somewhere. Anyway, he said they had he got a few inches through here. Yeah, he got a few inches. I thought, that's not very far from here. So something. You know what, the weather guy I really like is called Ryan Hall, y'all. Ryan Hall, y'all. And yeah, he's really accurate. He can tell you what they, All right, complete verse for $800, Alex. Michigander, yeah. Never seen him, Michigan. Yeah, he's very quiet. He will do like, I don't know. He gets up early. Like you guys are ahead of us, so he gets up like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know. Sometimes he just doesn't say anything for 20 minutes, and then he races it. So he only has like one person, maybe. I don't know. Maybe sometimes none, but he won't talk. But I think if there is somebody there, he will. But anyway, I only know him because I know somebody. I know he used to go over to a channel I was at. That's the only reason I know him. I'm not like a subscriber or anything to him, but I do know. I do know them people in Michigan said they had. I also know somebody that lives in Detroit, and Actually, I'd have to look on the map. I kind of know on the map. He's out in the woods. They won't really tell where, but he's northeast of Detroit. In fact, yeah, and then there's another guy, um, and he lives in Detroit, and they don't seem to have, like the last 2 winters I just, Detroit didn't really have this kind of snow and winters that we got here. I think Minnesota is like, I heard it's the furthest north of the United States. It feels like it's the coldest, snowiest usually, but anyway. So yeah, there's 2 people in Michigan. Well, actually, I'm subscribed to Michigan. I just don't watch his. I don't go over there on the streams or nothing like that. He used to be. He used to have some other people that went over there, but they don't go over there anymore. All right, 800 points. Ooh, it's getting harder. I hate these 2-part questions, too. Yeah, it's colder and snowy, it seems, but... Yeah, I remember last year, it didn't seem like... He'd be out on the sidewalk and stuff, and he'd show it around, it just didn't seem like Detroit had very much snow. In fact, it just doesn't seem like Wisconsin, any other states. Yeah. Anyway, so we're getting a break this year. All right, 800 points. Avoid foolish blank and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the blank, for they are unprofitable and vain, according to Titus. Avoid foolish doctrines and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the scriptures, for they are unprofitable and vain. I think it's this one. All right, foolish questions are a lot. It's either this one or this one. I think I'm going to go with that one. I know, I can't wait till spring either. There are questions and lie. It was the other one, I thought. Which is funny because this is a lot of Christians, their whole channels, they fight about foolish questions, genealogies, contentions, and strivings about the law. It's this here, questions about the law. It's exactly what a lot of the Christian channels do. Fight and argue about the law. Strivings about the law. Avoid foolish questions and genealogies. And that's funny because Matthew and Luke are the only ones with the genealogy of Jesus, and neither one of them are correct. It's like, oh, don't worry about that. Don't argue about the genealogies, because, yeah. All right. Oh, last one in this row is $1,000. Complete the verse. I don't like those 2-part questions. He that abideth in the blank of Christ, he hath both the Father and the Son. So he that abideth in the love of Christ hath both the Father and the Son. Is it the shadow of Christ or the love of Christ? It is the shadow. The love. No, the doctrine. Oh, the doctrine. Yeah, I said love too, but no, they said doctrine. They said doctrine, but I said love. Yep, ding, ding, ding. Actually, they said doctrine, but it should be love. Yeah. The doctrine of Christ. And it's funny because Jesus said, I'm not bringing a new doctrine. He's not bringing a new law. It's just weird. Anyway, all right, one more category. What is it going to be? Books of the Bible. Elijah versus Elisha. Name the book or timeline. Oh, timeline. I don't even know what the timeline is. Books of the Bible. Oh. You know, I know what they're gonna do here. They're gonna probably at least 3 out of these 5 are gonna be about Paul and his books. Oh, you foolish Galatians. And it's look, it's kind of very close. It's almost the same category called Name That Book. How is that different from books of the Bible? You know what I mean? How is this anyway? Let's find out. $200. Books of the Bible. Or what's it called? Books of the Bible. In which book of the Bible do we read, I am my beloved's, and my beloved's is mine? Oh, goodness. It's got to be Song of Solomon. I think it's Song of Solomon. Song of Solomon, if you read it in the original Hebrew, oh my goodness, is that filthy. I mean, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. I mean, it's filthy enough translated in the English, but you wouldn't believe it when you go into the Hebrew. Yeah, it is. It's pretty sure it's Song of Solomon. I am my beloved's and my beloved. Remember it said, her breasts are like 2 fawns leaping through the weeds or something. And it gets worse. I mean, that was like that was actually that was toned down, or what do they say, tame. That was tame. Yeah, that was tame compared to some of the other stuff they had. All right, name the book for 400, Alex. All right. All right. What book recounts the story of Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years? Is it Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, or Hebrews? That's funny because it is referenced more than just that. What New Testament book recounts the Israelites? Gosh, I don't know if it's Romans. It's got to be 1st or 2nd Corinthians. I don't think it's Hebrews. Oh goodness, I don't know that one. Yeah, it's probably 1st or 2nd Corinthians. I will say 1st Corinthians. I don't know. It was Hebrews. Oh yeah, Hebrews. Yeah. By the unknown author wandering the. It's kind of funny because that 40 years in the desert comes up all the way from. That story is all the way from the 10 Commandments, all the way from the story itself, all the way to the 10 Commandments and on. The 40 years in the desert, 400 years in slavery. Actually, it was prophesied 400 years, and it was actually 430. So can you imagine if after like you've been in captivity for 400 years and your ancestors have told you that, in the year, 2000, you guys are going to get free. And then 2000 comes and you don't get free. And 2005, 2010, 15, 20. Now it's 2024 and we're still not free. You'd think, what the heck? 30 years doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're living in a lifetime, yeah, it is a lot. Somebody goes from a 20-year-old thinking they're going to be free anytime, and then that actually ends up when he's in his 50s. I mean, I guess better late than never. You know what I mean? All right, David and Jonathan make a covenant of friendship together in which book of the Bible? It's either 1st or 2nd Samuel. I can't remember. 1st Samuel, 2nd Samuel. It's probably First Samuel. I'm probably going to get this wrong. I'm going to say Second Samuel, but it's probably First Samuel. It was First Samuel. See, I should have went with my first instinct because just think about it. They meet in First Samuel, and the story continues. You know what I mean? So yeah, of course it should have. I should have known that because of course they're gonna. Because look at they make a covenant of friendship together. So when did they come to friendship? That was here in the beginning. Yeah, First Samuel. Yeah. That is such a weird story, and I've seen scholars biblical scholars that can show you there's a lot more to that story than they're telling us. All right, $800. Alex, name the book for $800. See, when they got a first and a second book, it's hard. First and second Samuel, first and second whatever. Timothy. What are you guys doing? That sounded weird. In which book of the Bible do we find the verse, "For God did send me before you to preserve life"? Oh, man. Daniel, maybe? In which book of the Bible do we find the verse, "For God did send me before you to preserve"? Maybe it's the flood in Genesis. Probably the flood. Maybe the flood in Genesis, I think. I don't know. He's the one preserving the life. I mean, maybe it's the flood in Genesis. I don't know. Yes, ding ding, it is. Oh, actually, it's way past the flood. Maybe they're talking about it, though. Either way, it is correct. Ding, ding, ding. That was 800 points. That was kind of a hard one. And the last one is... Where is it? For $1,000. 1,000 points. Where are we at? There you go. In what book is the following verse found? For Adam was first formed, then Eve. Genesis, Exodus, 1 Corinthians, and 1 Timothy. You know what's... This is a trick question, you guys. This is a trick question. What book is the first Adam was formed, then Eve? You would think it's Genesis, right? But it's not. It's actually Genesis 1 and 2 are two different creation stories. In Genesis 1, both Adam and Eve are created. In Genesis 2, it's just Adam created. So there's two different creation stories. Yeah, but I think this is a trick question. I don't think it is Genesis. Because I'll tell you why. Because just recently, I was just reading this. It's either in 1 Corinthians, right? I mean, you think it would be, and I might be wrong. But yeah, so Genesis 1 and 2 are two completely different creation stories, different ordered things. One of them, Adam and Eve are created together, and the second story is where just Adam's created, and then later Eve is taken from his rib. But they don't come out and say that. But in one of Paul's letters, he does, because I just talked about this not that long ago. Paul writes a letter. In one of Paul's letters that he writes, he says, "For Adam was first formed, then Eve." And he's saying this to make his point, to make his argument, because it's where the man was made first, then the woman. So the man is in charge, and this is a Paul thing. So it's either 1 Corinthians or 1 Timothy, and I can't remember which one it is. Gosh, what is it? Corinthians or Timothy? Gosh, I don't know. The harder I think about the less, I don't know. But it was when Paul is talking about, yeah, I don't know, it's either Timothy or Corinthians. It's Timothy, yep. And see, whatever one I pick, it's the opposite. Yeah, it is going to be First Timothy, because if you look that up, because if you look it up, what are you doing? Because if you look it up, using this, Paul is picking creation story number 2. Paul has, I pointed this out not that long ago, because you have to pick one or the other. You're either going to pick the story where they're both created on the same, so there's 2 stories. So you have to pick, do you believe the story that Adam and Eve were created on the same day when God spoke them into existence at the same time? Or do you believe the other story, because there's 2 different stories? And then so the second story is where Adam was created first and then formed Eve. God formed Eve. So I recently pointed this out, that in order for Paul to say this, in order for Paul to write to Timothy and say Adam was formed first and then Eve, Paul has chosen one of the 2 stories and he's going with it. So Paul has chosen the second creation story of that, because there's 2 to choose from. But hey, if you want to be in charge, you're going to say Adam was formed first, right? It's going to back up your argument that the man is in charge. You understand? Well, Genesis 1 says that they're created on the same day. God spoke them into existence. And he spoke them into existence, and he said, go forth and multiply. That was, in fact, that is actually listed as the first commandment God ever gave Adam and Eve. Go forth and multiply. Even before telling them not to eat from the tree of life or whatever. Even before that, when he first created them, first commandment, if you look up what was the first commandment, well, he said, go forth and multiply. Well, wait a minute. Again, you're going to have to pick which creation story. If that's the first commandment, then you got to go with the first creation story. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, ding, ding, ding. I think they are done now. Very good. I think that's going to be it. I love Bible trivia. It's fun. Testing the knowledge. And like I said, it is hard because there's so many doublets and triplets, and there's different versions, and the four Gospels are even different. And in the Old Testament, you've got doublets where you've got 2 stories, just like the creation story of Genesis 1 and 2, where one story of creation is different than the second story of creation. And so, I just mentioned that recently, that Paul would have had to pick the man-made first story. And what to back up his point. But if it was like a different point, he could have picked the other story, you know what I mean? If anybody's trying to prove that men and women, if say I was going to try to prove men and women were equal, I would pick the story where they're created at the same time. But if somebody wants to say the man is over the woman, then you'd pick the other story where the man was, you know what I mean? It's the pick and choose according to your situation is what's going on there. You know what I mean? Whatever works for you. It's whatever is convenient for you. I have hiccups now. It seems like when I get done here, I always have hiccups. And when I wake up every morning I have hiccups. It's because I got an empty stomach or I'm hungry or something. But yeah, every morning I wake up, I got hiccups, and sometimes I sneeze. You're an uh, you're an expert. I'll give you that. You study a lot more than me. I love studying. Yeah. Anyway, so that's fun. That is always fun, and it's just my puppy gets hiccups. Yeah, it's funny. Puppies do get hiccups. Yeah, I think that's cute when they have hiccups. Yeah, they do, don't they? Hmm. Anyway, yeah. I love puppies. I think the next one, I just had two puppies, and so I'm good on the puppies, I guess. But if I ever do, um, if I ever do, I've been thinking I would like to go to a shelter and get the dog that's been there the very longest, the one nobody wants. I think that's the dog I want next, the one that nobody wants. Her name is Pebbles. Really, I had a cat named Pebbles. She was so cute. She had a heart murmur, and it was a 4 out of 5. She really had a bad heart murmur, but she was miniature because of her heart murmur. She never grew, so stayed like a kitten size. She was so cool. But when she purred, it sounded like pebbles, and like you had a pop cannon with pebbles inside of it. I mean, so I called her Pebbles because it sounded like when she purred, like you were shaking pebbles in a can. That's why I called her Pebbles. But Pebbles is cute. Pebbles is like the Flintstone baby. Yeah, that's a cute name. Have fun going out tomorrow. I will. I will. Yeah, we're gonna go our into town. Dogs need dog food tomorrow. I can't wait till the Amish come out on the weekends again. That's gonna be awesome. They bring their baked goods and all their cool stuff, and oh, is that nice? Delicious stuff. Yeah, I never have enough dogs. Yeah, yeah, I've got 3. They're expensive to feed though, because I feed them homemade dog food and all that. So yeah, they're kind of expensive, but yeah, yep. Anyway, yeah. Well, Pebbles is a cute name. Must be a small dog, huh? Because I can't picture a large dog named Pebbles. Alright. I'm going to sign off here. I got to plug my phone in because it's dying. We have that Amish folk here. Love them. Good people. Yeah, I like them too. Yeah, they come into town and with their buggy and they sell their homemade everything. Everything. It's delicious. It's nice. Not bad prices either, you know what I mean? Reasonable. And they have their eggs and their pies and their breads and their cookies and their jams and their everything. You know, up here, well, anywhere, I think, any state probably. But we have you can get a cottage license, they call it, a cottage license. And that allows you to sell food. And it's without a food license. And it's anything that's not like gonna get people botulism and stuff like that. So anybody can get a cottage license. You can sell it right out of your house. Pom and Husky, she will get around 50 pounds. Wow, that's a weird mix. A Husky and a Pomeranian? How did that even happen? But must have a pretty curly tail though. Anyway. All right, guys. All right, they're hitting me up here. Test died, that tore me out. Yeah, I know it's like, yeah. Yep. Makes it easier though if you want to, a Pomsky. Okay, I'll look it up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I got tore up with Spencer and with Snowy, but it's a lot better now that I do believe that they visit me and they dim the lights and they give their sound and they give their signs and everything, and I just feel a lot better, like they're not gone. Hit by a car, she got out of the fence. Yeah, it's terrible. Amazing. It's traumatic. How long ago? Hold on a second. Quiet. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, they do visit. In fact, there's some pet psychics on YouTube, really good ones, and I'll tell you how to communicate with your pet that passed over. And I learned a lot. And you can also, oh, last spring, yeah, sorry to hear that. You can also learn how to telepathically communicate with your dogs and cats that are still alive. Like I can lay with my dogs or sit with my dogs and telepathically talk back and forth with them. And you can learn how to do that too. But yeah, she's probably been around visiting and everything. The other dogs will probably see her. They won't know what to think about it, but they'll see her. Yeah. Yeah, there's some good pet psychics on there that yeah, you can communicate with your pets here while they're alive, or after they pass on, you can still communicate with them. Anyway, it's given me a lot of peace and comfort, that's for sure. It's made me feel a lot better because they're not gone. Loved ones are never gone. Nobody dies. Nobody. No, not cats, dogs. I learned that with them. You would like to learn that with them? Yeah. Maybe I'll go over that some night. I'll go over that maybe. Because I've learned a lot, man, and it's once you learn how to do it, it's really cool. And like what to do when you're going away, like how you can telepathically show them what's going to happen. And anyway, a lot of cool tips. I should go over that some night, as I think it would help people with their pets. Anyway, all right, you guys, thanks for coming in, Deborah. Good to see you tonight. Anybody else that came in, thanks for coming in. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Oh God, you feel like, yeah, it gives us, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll have to talk about that sometime. Yeah, I'll go over that sometime. It's really cool. All right, guys, thanks for coming in. Peace, love, harmony, all that good stuff. Shalom, good night, and